Hello there guys, my name is Jay, or DA, and welcome back to another episode of the Old Norse Shipyard build videos, where today I'm going to be showing off another ship. Yes, it is another gunship, just to let you know, but it is completely different to the Vardmar Eljun that I released the other week. Now, this little thing is called the Riki Vega, which basically means power lift, and it is just an all-round good little egg. And it was designed to be like a Huey, and it kind of looks like a Hornet as well, which is kind of cool, to be honest. I like how it sort of kept that Hornety look, and it's just cool. I like it, and I think you guys will like it, especially when you start to fly it, because it does have its little quirks when it flies. So, the reason why I wanted to build this was because I wasn't particularly happy with the Vardmar Eljun, because it was blocky, to say the least. It was a little bit ugly, and a few of you guys did actually agree that it was a little bit ugly, and it wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, but it did the job. And the main restrictions with that were the fact that it had to fly into space as well, so you had to incorporate some sort of airlocking system to make sure that there was a pressurized environment within it, and that's one of the things that really did hold that build back a little bit. Now, because I've gone with a strictly atmospheric design, I don't need any of that, so I was able to use the space a lot better, and hopefully the design has reflected that. Now, I did try something different with the way I built this, and basically what I did was, I use a lot of mods, and I do struggle to build in vanilla, but I forced myself to use just vanilla blocks to go through and try and get the size and the shape and everything else kitted out, and then I basically just started swapping out blocks where I needed to. I have started picking up on other bits of detail, like using ground down single wheels for detailing on sort of bars and stuff like that, which I picked up from some of the other builds we've looked at, some of the previous ships we looked at in some of the spotlights, and I think it looks really nice because they're the only real things that look like a bar. I was going to use the where are those bloody things at? I was going to use the supports, basically, the little, here we go, the interior pillars, but they just look too skinny and skimpy. And these basically allow you to run and jump, and you can basically get in there and get out quite nicely, whereas the other ones didn't allow for any sort of ramping feature. So, yeah. I think it, again, I hope you guys will agree, but I think it's sort of better looking, definitely, than the Eljun, because it's, again, I think it was helped by the vanilla because I was limited, and I think having that limitation sometimes is very, very good for building. I think that's why some of the better builds you see on the spotlights come from actually just building complete vanilla, because it's a lot smarter in the way you've had to use the blocks. Whereas with mods, you do just kind of get thrown. You want, you want a new Gatling gun. Here's a new Gatling gun. You want this to do this. It's modded, we can do that. It's kind of like you kind of get spoilt for choice. But I quite liked having the limitation, so I might try this with a few other builds. Now, you guys are probably wondering, how the hell does it fly? It looks really cool. I really want to see it fly. You'll see that in a little bit of a second, but I just want to show you how the side guns work, because I like these. I wanted to have a forward-facing sort of danger zone, so this is the danger zone for the pilot. So this is where he'd be firing his bullets from and sort of laying down the hurt for enemies in front. And then we also have these turrets on the side, which would be manned by crew members, and these would basically allow you to sit inside, and you have the controls to turn the machine gun on and off, or the shooting feature on and off. You can't just physically press a button to shoot, so you kind of have to just toggle between on and off, which I don't mind. I'm completely cool with that. Just being able to just do this is still pushing just one button. It's no biggie. And then we do actually have cameras on the side just to enable some sort of zooming feature, so you can actually zoom in to see where the enemy are if needed. So, I think without further ado, we'll get inside and fly it. Now, there are a little bit of insecurities with this ship, to say the least, because it does overload every now and then, and I'm unsure why it overloads, but it just seems a little bit odd when I've used it before, because sometimes it does overload, but at the moment it only pushes at about 90% most of the time, which does bother me a little bit, because I really want to figure out why the hell it's overloading. But if it's not doing that now, it's fine. It's completely fine. It does get around quite well. It's very, very nimble, and you can sort of wrap it round stuff quite nicely. And With the controls I've given you within the cockpit, you can say turn off the thrusters. You can just drift it round and stuff and then put them back on, just to, you know, get that arc really nice. And it does fly really well, and I like these forward-facing cockpits, and this is like the original cockpit from Space Engineers, and I never thought I'd use it again because there were so many nice ones on the workshop. But I like this one, to be honest. It's really nice, I really do. And you got your guns right beside you, you know, you feel cozy and comfortable. You can just about see the wings on the back there, so you do have really good visibility from this forward-facing position. So that is basically it. I mean, other than the guns and the handling and the seating arrangements in the back, that's around it. There's not a lot to this. There is a connector on the top. Just to let anyone know, that connector is not connected to any of the internal McGubbins, because it just simply wouldn't work with where everything is. I wanted a connector on the top so you could connect this to, say, Modir, and then take Modir out of the atmosphere with a bunch of these attached, and then these would basically just drop through the atmosphere, turn themselves on, and then fly. So I figured they're a really, really neat idea, to be honest. And you could probably have, say, a carrier for these specifically designed, which I have actually thought of, but I don't know how well it'd work. But maybe have a carrier of these where it just flies in from space, drops just above the atmosphere, and then all these detach and drop off and fly. And it's kind of like a pimped out drop pod, because you can actually control it properly. So yeah, I mean, other than that, there's 3 seats in the back, 5 including the gunners, and there's one in the front. And that's really about it for this build. There's lots of storage, and it just looks like a complete badass. So if you guys have enjoyed the Riki Vega, then don't forget to check it out on the workshop. It is available now to download, so check out the link in the description for that. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, favorite, and of course subscribe for more. Thank you ever so much for 20k subs, and I'll see you guys later. Peace!